Grand Rising, Elizabeth.
Grand Rising.
Yeah, today is October 24th, 2023. And this is our health and wellness show. And I want to say that we have 3 hosts here today.
Ooh, home run.
Sister Ebony, Sister Jacqueline, and Sister Deetra. And we want to welcome Sister Jacqueline back.
You,
Yay. You see all
praise
that?
God. Praise God.
Yes, she's a testimony.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. I'm going to do our African Goddess Rising Oracle reading card.
Okay.
And you know what, guys? I was so happy to receive this one. This is my yacht.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ooh wee.
Spell it M-Y-A-T-T.
M-A-A-T.
M-A, and then it's like a little
Hyphen.
A-T.
My yacht.
Yeah.
My yacht. Mm-hmm.
Okay, my yacht is the goddess of giving and receiving.
Mm-hmm.
She is of Egypt, of the Conjurer Temple, and she is an air element. So I feel close to that. I'm an air element too, so yay. But anyway, Goddess Mayat represents alignment, truth, and balance. Her name means order. As her father, Egyptian sun god Ra, rose out of the chaos and put her in charge of divine justice. Woo! That sounds deep to me. Mayat's guidance is reset your harmonic balance. You are out of alignment. The sacred scales command you let me say it again. The sacred scales command you to give and receive. If you receive without giving, you are selfish and out of alignment. If you give without receiving, you are stuck in martyrdom and out of alignment. The embodiment of this reading is giving and receiving is spiritual law and spell work. Give time, money, service, resources, and good vibes. If you are a generous giver, cultivate a practice of receiving. Receiving is a sacred feminine principle that makes many uncomfortable. Receive compliments, joy, support, pleasure, friendship, money, and love. They are all the same to the spirit. And the goddess declaration is, I give easily and freely. I receive freely and easily.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Does anyone have anything to share about that reading?
Can I ask you to repeat? It says reset your something.
Let me see. Oh, yes. The guidance. Reset your harmonic balance. You are out of alignment. The sacred scales command you to give and receive. If you receive without giving, you are selfish and out of alignment. If you give without receiving, you are stuck in martyrdom and out of alignment. Wow. Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What does martyrdom mean?
Is it martyrdom?
Sacrifice yourself.
Yeah. Like a martyr?
You know,
Be a martyr?
what was that? Joan of Arc?
Yeah.
Joan of Arc stood for the battle for her country, and when she died, she became a martyr because even in her death, people even looked to her more.
Yeah.
Because she was killed, and so it's a martyr. So that's even more recently, that lady that was shot during the insurrection when she tried breaking through the door.
Mm-hmm.
The
Okay.
MAGA people tried making her a martyr, as though what she did was wonderful
Yeah.
and she died in the cause. So
Yeah,
people make martyrs out of, somebody, usually they die.
yeah,
Right, I was about to say that too.
Usually they
Martyrs, yeah, right. Martyrs can be good or bad, right?
right, exactly.
Hitler is a martyr to the
To
good
the
old
Hitler
boy,
group, right.
you
I wanted to share with Jim, exactly, are you familiar with Elizabeth, what we are and what we're about?
Elizabeth?
Yes, yeah.
Our group, this group you're going to talk to today.
Oh, I think you told me about it a couple of years ago, and I
Who you,
Deidre.
Deidre?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
might have been talking about something else. It wouldn't have been this group.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just a little over a year old.
Yeah.
Well, he could feel be
Well,
feel
40
the he might feel the longevity and feels the spirit of Elizabeth has been here since
for 40 years.
Elizabeth, since
Preach,
Abraham and
preach.
Elizabeth. Okay.
But
So
I
he
share,
feels the feeling of it.
right. But I've shared a little with him, but he's fresh waking up. So go ahead and remind him.
I want to go to our queen because, she started this from 30 years ago. So she would be the best to share this part of it.
That's funny because I always want to hear what everybody else says.
I'll try. You want me to
Go
try
right
it?
ahead. Yeah. It's the story is the story. Let me
The
see.
story is the story. Well, Jim, my involvement with the group started almost a year ago, right?
Mhm.
And before I joined, my Razia was telling me, there's a sister, you've got to meet her. She's got this idea. She's going to have a different topic every weekday that covers, different issues or concerns or points. And she was like, I want you to meet her. And like a month or two passed, and she came up again. This was like early last year. Yeah, early last year. And then she one day, my Razia told me, well, I'm part of the group. We're going to do health and wellness on Tuesdays. And Queen, you want to tell what Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays themes are?
Yeah, Monday is millionaire Mondays.
Mindset.
Millionaire mindset. Thank
Mindset
you.
Mondays.
And Tuesday is health and wellness. And Wednesday is creative wisdom Wednesdays. And Thursday is transformation? Oh, I must be right. Didn't change. Transformation Thursdays, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
I mean, we went from therapeutic to anyway, and then Friday is purpose and passion.
And so my understanding of being in the group, Queen, like Deidre shared, 30 years ago, she had this idea and heart to create this group and finally brought it to fruition. And it's called the Elizabeths because she, I believe, tell me right, during a reading of the Bible, a sermon or something you had heard, they were talking about how when Mary was carrying Jesus and Mary was going to visit her cousin Elizabeth, and Elizabeth also was pregnant, and they were saying how as Mary approached Elizabeth, Jesus, or was it, who jumped in the belly?
John the Baptist. Mm-hmm.
John jumped in Elizabeth's belly. And so with that idea with Elizabeth's is that we come together as women, but as people to birth ideas and support and health and healing to each other through our connections.
Very good. And James, the Elizabeths are male and female. We just focus on the female energy of being pregnant, you know. So we just focus on that as in this particular group, but we do other things where male and female are involved.
Oh,
It seems
fantastic.
like I know him. I've seen him or been in the presence of Jim.
You've met James. I'm sure you're talking about James.
Yeah, James Loving, y'all call him Jim, right?
Yes.
Let
Mhm.
me see if I can have a Jim. You don't have a picture? Right now, I got all these avatars. He
Yeah.
loves playing with avatars.
You should be ready right
Well,
now
my-
to come
Well,
on
my
camera.
picture is on that avatar, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
That link I sent you, Deidre?
Yes, yes, and it looks a little like him. It really
it's
does.
his avatar. But Jim, you're not going to show your face just briefly.
Oh, the face. The face is on there.
I'm talking about your live face, mister.
Oh, well, my camera's not working here, it looks
Oh.
like.
Okay.
So did
Is
you
it uncovered?
need the power
Huh?
to share? Someone need power to share?
But no, you know what I would like for you to do? Actually play that one that I sent you, you know.
Okay, okay,
But let me talk a little bit about Jim a little bit before we can move
yeah.
on. First of all, once again, I know Jim through Mama Razia. You know, he had gets food and comes and especially when we did lunch and learn on a regular basis, Jim would come and share some wonderful things with the group. So that's how I came to know Jim. But I'm privileged. I am thankful that I did meet him, and I'm thankful that Sister Jacqueline knows him as well. So, but when I met him, he was dealing with hypnotherapy. I don't know. He's going to talk more about what he does. That's what I want him to do anyway. When I met him, he was doing hypnotherapy. I remember that much. So I'm going to actually turn it over unless you want to share something, Jacqueline.
I would love to share. Jim and I go way back. You all know Mama Dina.
Yeah.
I met Jim through Mama Dina in the dance community because Jim is a wonderful ballroom dancer.
Oh, yeah.
And he and myself and Dina would find places to go dancing, and we'd be wearing Jim out because he, you know, we needed a partner. And he and Mama D are so smooth. You guys should see them. They are just too smooth with their dance style together. But then I learned about Jim hypnotherapy, so I myself have been his client on a couple occasions. And I still use it. I think I've shared with you all, I do this 30-minute meditation whenever I get stressed out and I feel really exhausted and I can't go to sleep, but I need to stay awake, kind of.
Yes.
I go to Jim's information. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, that's a picture of him right there. Yeah.
That's a little picture of him right there.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got back in touch with Deidre and I'm getting back to myself, I was like, what about, Jim? And she's like, yeah, I met him. So we called him and here he is. So he is a blessing. He's got some good information. He is a PhD. Are you a PhD, Jim, with your work?
I'll accept that, but no. My master's is in psychology. Yeah, psychology with a concentration on health and wellness.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
So he's here, and I personally told him, and I think Deidre's open to as many times as he want to share information that's going to help boost us, because right now I know I'm still working with him to work to get through this issue that I'm dealing with still with the from the long COVID.
Right.
So I'm thankful for Jim. So I'm glad he's here to share.
Yeah, thank you. And we're gonna turn it over to you, Jim.
Is there any way that you can show that welcome?
Yes, and
Yeah.
she's showing it now. Can you see it at all?
Yeah.
Play it. You want her to play it?
Yeah, would you?
Okay, yes. Okay.
Hi there. This is Mr. Loving. If you've received this, we have already talked and you are now my client, so welcome. I understand your goals and I'm certain that I can help you reach them. As we discussed, the first step to attaining any goal regarding health and wellness begins by building a solid foundation, and to do that we need to begin with some mental detox, that is, we need to clear out or neutralize past negative events and trauma. Now, that sounds more complicated than it actually is. Actually, it is a simple and fairly quick process. But we'll have that discussion at our first session. Below is my bio and the mental exercise that we talked about. Be sure to complete the exercise before our first face-to-face session. If you have any questions, call me on my personal cell number, which is 810-660-0455. Here's what to do. First, sit or lie down in a comfortable position, then push my bio.
Okay, now.
An avatar
Can you
will
still
deliver
hear
my
me?
bio.
Pause it.
Immediately after it,
Yes.
the mental exercise will
Pause.
begin. It's about 20
Go
minutes
back
long,
and
so
hit
do it when you
the,
know you will not be interrupted for that
exercise
period.
going up on
The
that.
exercise will prepare you for our first session. Headphones can be used but are
Okay,
not
just
necessary.
go back on
If
your,
you are using your
Can you repeat what you said, Jim?
Yeah, see the box, the red box that says stress? Oh, no, do my bio first. So give them an idea of what I do. Yeah. It's my daughter.
Oh, okay.
James A. Loving was born in Detroit, Michigan. He moved to Los Angeles in 1973 to pursue a career in the television industry. He succeeded as a freelance ghostwriter and has written for several television shows such as Sanford and Son, The Jeffersons, Mork and Mindy, and more. He worked for Sammy Davis Jr. and Merv Griffin, performing various functions. He received a bachelor's degree from Columbia College in Hollywood, California, a bachelor's degree in psychology from Ashford University, and a master's in psychology from the University of Arizona Global Campus with a concentration in health and wellness, and also, after 5 years of study, he became a licensed practitioner of religious science, science of mind. He was trained in hypnosis by Dr. Donald Dossi of Beverly Hills, California. Then earned several certifications in California and Michigan. Over the years, he has continued his studies in the mental sciences, including NLP, EFT, mindfulness cognitive behavior therapy, and he also received a degree in medical and clinical hypnotherapy from Hypnosis Motivational Institute in Los Angeles, California, which is the only accredited college of hypnotherapy in the United States. Mr. Loving is the creator and developer of the relax and release method of stress control and has delivered workshops and seminars in this multidisciplinary technique in Southern California and Las Vegas, Nevada. Since returning to Detroit, he has done several television and radio interviews as an expert in stress reduction. As a consultant, he has delivered his unique services to several organizations including the City of Detroit, the State of Michigan, the National Urban League, Adult Wellbeing, the Detroit Area on Aging, Wayne State University, the National Council on Alcoholism and Other Dependencies, the REACH Project, the Wellness Plan, and many more. In 1988, Mr. Loving applied his technique, Omega Method, to the field of substance abuse. He contracted with treatment facilities to develop and implement alternative treatment programs. Mr. Loving is now in private practice as a health and wellness coach and is also available for workshops and seminars all over the country. So, now you are in a comfortable position, sitting or lying down. In about 5 seconds the relaxing mental exercise will begin. Bye for now.
Jim
Okay,
Loving
go
here.
back.
You're about to experience what is called the C-Court state of deep physical.
That's my jam.
Yeah, just go back into the first page you went to. Yeah. Now, before you press the stress button, this will encapsulate just about everything that I do, or at least the basis of it. Then I'll take questions after that. Okay. Hit stress. Got to click him. You can do many things to promote healing in the body and the mind, but if you don't eliminate the distress that you've accumulated over the years, your results will be nil, slow in coming if it comes at all.
You see, the body and the mind has a tendency, a natural tendency to be balanced. It's a universal principle. It's called homeostasis. Homeostasis in the body, in the mind, is called health. Hi, I'm Jim Loving. I've been practicing health psychology and hypnotherapy for many years now, and I've witnessed miraculous healings from simple headaches to so-called incurable diseases. With my practice, the first step is always eliminating accumulated stress. The latest studies have shown that you and everybody else spend most of your time in survival mode. Now, when this stress builds up and you lay back and watch TV, play with the cat, enjoy your friends, throw back a beer or two, this will relieve a lot of the stress you've accumulated over the day or period of time. But there's always a little bit, some remnants of it that accumulates over the day, over the week, over the years. And it's this accumulated stress that's causing many of your health issues and mental issues. Let me reiterate. You must release accumulated stress or you will not achieve homeostasis, balance, healing until you do. This ebook, the Omega Stress Elimination System, will release chunks of it, years of it, in 20 minutes. Guaranteed. Listen, if you are now in perfect health, if you never have so much as a headache, if your mood and affect are always, or almost always, bright and positive, stop right here and write your own ebook, and I promise I'll buy it. Now, this system has absolutely no fluff and very few details. I don't deep dive into the whys and hows of how the system works. If you follow the steps and listen to the hypnotic meditations, you will get predictable results. I won't promise that this system will heal your body and mind because your mind and body already knows what to do. It knows how to do just that. But it's too busy fighting and overcoming stress. Most of its job is keeping you alive. You're in survival mode. This system's job is to eliminate that stress. And it can, and it will do it if you let it. Letting it, that's your job. If you want to check out the rationale and the science behind what this system is all about, just go to YouTube. Check out Bruce Lipton, Michael Beckwith, Joe Dispenza, Sadhguru, Wim Hof, James Nestor, Nassim Haramein, I think, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Daniel Amen. Many on there. And if you're a professional, if you're a medical doctor or a psychologist, do your own research and check out their research. But this system works. There you go.
Okay, and what's the name of the system again?
The Omega Method.
Okay, that's the name of the system. Okay.
Yeah. Any questions?
Yes. Yes, I have a question. Um, I wanted to know, are you still practicing?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay. This sounds like something I would be interested in. And do you work with children?
In fact, I do. They're the easiest to work with, actually,
Okay.
especially with hypnotherapy, because their imaginations are already or are still active.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Did you understand what I meant when I said that accumulated stress is usually the problem of all health issues, mental issues, or not all, but most?
Yes, I did. simply because in uncovering uh some of what my issues may be, finding out that I'm what it Rev Amani said, numb to a lot of situations in my life, to the point where some things are going on, and I don't know. And so I don't want to be numb to it anymore. I want to address it. And this show is right on time. Um with me, my family, and with my friend and her daughter, definitely her daughter. Yeah, who constantly, her total conversation is the past and reliving the things that happened to her.
And you know, that is the basis of PTSD and CPTSD.
Wow. Yeah.
Those memories are still there. It's almost as though they happened yesterday.
Yes.
The body reacts to that.
Yes.
And that's why eliminate or neutralizing those past events, past traumas is so important. And it's a lot simpler than many of your psychologists today will say. They have all kinds of treatments for PTSD and CPTSD.
And
Some work,
drugs.
and you're right. Big Pharma has a whole lot to do with that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so a lot of the psychologists want you to face all of these traumas that happened in the past, etc., fight them, etc. Or somehow.
For me, I am taking care of my mother-in-law right now, and it could be stressful because sometimes she can be a little I won't say
difficult.
yeah.
Just being yeah, just it's
exactly.
difficult.
I'm trying to avoid building stress, building where stress feels comfortable being a part of my life. I don't want that. I'm trying to avoid that. I'm speaking.
Yeah. You don't want that.
Manage it and manage it.
Yeah.
To manage it.
Yeah, that's why we don't want to manage stress per se. We want to eliminate it. We want to neutralize it. And the brain itself knows how to do that.
Yes. Well, that's good to know. Yes.
So
now, it doesn't make you forget events in the past.
Right.
In fact, you don't even want that to happen.
Right.
It neutralizes the emotional component of that.
Okay.
So then it becomes something that did happen in the past. You can learn your lessons from all of that, but you don't feel that trauma. Because it's that trauma. I'm getting ready to get into some psychology stuff here.
Hey, James, how do you see forgiveness and the stress, removing that from that, like you forgive somebody, yet so you forgive them, and you go through that process, and some forgiveness you can do it immediately, you surrender to it, and some you got to speak it first
over and over again,
and then the process of that comes along with it. So wouldn't your service help that to happen, to be able to deal with the stress of all of that happened in the past? Though you forgive them, but you still have to, it's still there. You know what I mean? Genuinely forgive them, but still what happened in the past is still there. The repercussions of it, shall I say.
Well, one of my favorite quotes is, I'm not
Okay.
sure who first did it, but
You're
she
not clear,
said,
James.
oh, can you hear me now?
Yes. I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry about that. One of my favorite quotes is, I may forget what you did, I may forget what you said, but I'll never forget how you made me feel. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's that feeling is what's actually doing the damage. That's an emotional component of memory.
Mm-hmm.
I studied memory for years there. And it's that the brain really doesn't know how to do, it doesn't know negatives, like Abraham Hicks would say.
Yeah.
It only remembers or only deals with positives. So as far as forgiveness goes, that's a difficult thing to do sometimes, right? Especially when you're still feeling that emotional feeling that you got when it first happened.
Mm-hmm.
You replay it, that emotional feeling comes back. And so forgiveness is actually a conscious decision to forgive, right? First, you have to make a conscious decision to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the process is much faster, especially through hypnotherapy, because you go into the vortex, as Hicks would say. And when you're in the vortex, it's like coming into the now. I think there's a movie out called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
And all that's really
About that.
saying is that, say again?
No, I haven't heard of that movie. I had to look it up. Mm-hmm.
I think it is a movie or something. Somebody mentioned that, and I said, well, that's exactly what metaphysicians have been saying for hundreds of years, thousands of years.
Yes.
Everything that's ever happened, everything that's going to happen is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you choose which one you put your attention on. Where you put your attention is what manifests in your life. That makes sense?
Yeah, I think that's
Perfect.
that's pretty deep, you know. Yeah.
It is deep. It is deep.
Oh,
Every one of us has that power to do that.
Yeah.
As long as your IQ is above room temperature.
that's good.
As long as you can tie your shoes, you can make decisions, right?
Mhm.
The subconscious mind is so powerful. I mean, it can
Yes.
do almost anything.
Mhm.
There's not much that we can say that it cannot do, but it has to be told what to do. And then it will do that with precision.
Yes.
It doesn't decide what's
Awesome.
good or what's bad. It gives you what you ask for or what you demand. And when
Yeah.
we have all of these negative feelings lodged in our brains, you're telling it what you want because you're concentrating on the negative aspect of whatever it is. So it'll give you more of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the simple one, here's something I used to tell my clients all the time. It's like, imagine yourself on a smooth lake, right? You're in a boat and you're going along with the stream, with the current. And you're just cruising on down there. And suddenly you see a sandbar or some obstacle in front of you. So you go back and forth and try to turn that boat around so it won't hit that sandbar. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't. Until you realize that you have a rudder in that boat. And you have a little motor in that boat. Once you realize that, you can easily move around sandbars, etc., etc. Does that make sense? In other words, if you know you have the control, you can navigate yourself through life.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Because things don't just happen to you.
But there's people that believe things happen to them.
Or most people believe things
Right,
happen.
right.
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 That's a hard lesson to teach, is that, well, that's because, well, now I have to take responsibility for all this stuff that I'm going through right now. And it wasn't my fault that I got fired. It wasn't my fault, etc., etc. Well, the hard truth is that it kind of is. It's
Right.
just,
Right.
it's just right. You just had a lot of help getting you to be broke or to be sick, etc.
Yeah. A lot of cooperation from everybody else's thoughts and
Yeah, right,
yeah,
right.
we all come together and we got
And
one
you-
big, and so, you know, and God is a God of promise, and so he say, that's what you want. Okay, that's what you but you could want something
Right.
different, right? You could
No,
desire
that's
and
right.
think that. That's the
No
good
respecter of persons. That's right.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
giving you this law, and it's, it's up to you to figure out how to do it, right?
Mhm.
Matter of fact, it's not really figured out. You don't have to really figure it out for yourself.
Right.
There are Bibles, there are Qurans, there are all kinds of maps that show you how to get through life. Now, you follow your principles, you're on the middle of the road and you're doing fine, right? On each side of that road, is a pile of poo-poo. Okay. So once you step off into one side or the other and you get your foot in that poo-poo, you know to get back on that road.
Mhm.
Right.
So you wipe your feet off and you keep striding on down the road. But the thing I'd like to get across is that you do have control. It's like a bulldozer. A bulldozer can knock down trees, it can crush cars, but it can't do anything unless somebody's on top there turning it or making it do the different things, right? That's your conscious mind. Conscious mind is the creative mind. That's the one that tells it which tree to knock down, etc. Conscious mind can't do it itself. So it turns it over to the bulldozer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about the conscious mind in relation to the subconscious mind?
Yeah, the conscious mind is like I said, the creator. That's the part of your mind that makes decisions,
Okay.
do etc., etc. The subconscious mind is the doer. It's what does the work.
Ah, okay.
Right. So whatever the programming you have in your subconscious mind is what's being reflected in your life.
Ah,
A lot of these things we're not even aware of. They're built up through all of those past events, those past negative events,
uh-huh.
events. It's made up of all of the traumas, etc., etc. And it forms a belief system in the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind will deliver.
Okay.
That's what you want to do. Go ahead.
So I truly understand, the mega method trying to eliminate, well, not trying,
I was
Eliminate,
about to get you there,
I
yeah.
eliminating accumulated stress. That's important.
Right. I like to call it neutralizing it.
Oh, okay.
because-
Neutralize. Okay.
Yeah.
Greetings to Krisha, Sharonda, and Alita, and Star.
Oh, Alita, I know
Okay.
Alita.
Excuse me.
Hello, Alita. She doesn't know who's talking.
Alita, James. Love-
Okay, I finally found my button. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
on
okay.
my phone, and it's because it's so small, it's hard to get everything. And
Yeah.
one time, I hey, birthday brother, how are you, Mr. Loving?
Oh, you were talking to me. I
Yes.
thought you were talking to the group.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm
Well,
good. I'm good.
Yeah, she called you birthday brother.
Yeah.
That's
So, how
right.
is everybody doing this morning?
Well, very
Great
good.
topic. Great topic.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, we have more in common than that. Her late husband name was Samaj, right? That's James
Right.
spelled backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
James.
wow, sure is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I had a thought. I just got to come back. It was something you said right before we talked to Alita.
The conscious mind.
Was it about
subconscious mind.
neutralizing?
Yeah. Cause we said, I think Deetra said destroy or something, and you said
I said eliminate.
eliminate, right? And then you said to neutralize it. So tell me, was there a difference there? I see a difference, but in particular, James, when she said that and you used the other word, you like to say neutralize.
Yeah, because when you eliminate, that means that's almost like saying forgetting the memory, period.
Oh,
But the emotional component is still there. You don't really want to eliminate anything. Matter of fact, the universe won't allow you to eliminate what it's already given you, right?
yeah.
But you can neutralize those negative, the negative impact.
Yeah.
Those, yeah. And that's done, it doesn't really take all of the struggle that most have come to believe it takes to make those, to neutralize those negative past events, etc. In fact, you don't even have to remember exactly what they were, or what the event was. But
you are so talking about something I've not shared. So because it's an experience of mine. I had an issue with my older brother who's passed a long time ago, and when we were children, and so that would bother me that of the choice that he made. And then I kept in talking with God about it and stuff. One day, in an instant, he showed me the thing, and he neutralized it, James. I mean, that you said the right word. That's why I can still, and I don't even remember the details anymore, but I know that something had happened when I was young, nothing negative, just, maybe he told on me and I thought he should have, whatever, but nothing.
gotcha.
Yeah. But that thing bothered me, and I don't remember what it was anymore, but I do remember that it was. And it doesn't have any power over me at all. Yeah. Yeah, so thanks for bringing that word up. It just neutralized the impact that it was having on me.
Right.
Yeah.
The physiological explanation of that is there's a part of your brain called the amygdala. And its job is not to remember anything in particular, but it attaches the feelings to these memories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Came in negative, well, it's going to remember that part, and then it'll have that effect on the entire body and your life circumstances. All of this is in a pool, right? So the idea for any religion or any philosophical thought process is to either reframe or neutralize the negative impact, the negative component of those memories.
Jim, I was wondering, is there any repercussion? Is that the word I'm looking for? What's maybe, I don't want to say the negative impact of going through this process? Is there anything that can occur that doesn't come out good?
Good question.
Okay, I didn't quite get that though.
Okay, the
One more
result
time.
of the process of neutralizing, past, let me get it right, neutralizing accumulated stress. Is there anything negative that can occur by going through this process?
No, as a matter of fact, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
It's there are no negative consequences to neutralizing, because you do remember what happened because that happened.
Uh-huh.
And that's like having that rudder in the boat. Well, you can avoid that one. I know what that is. That's a sandbar. Go right on around it, right? It gives you the power,
Okay.
and it reprograms the subconscious mind to react appropriately.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yes.
Yeah, all on its own. But you have to program it to do that.
Right.
And before you can really program it, you have to neutralize the feeling, that negative component.
Okay.
Then you can paint over it.
Jim,
Yeah.
is there an aspect of recognizing first that you have to recognize it first to be able to neutralize it?
No.
No.
As a matter of fact, like I was mentioning before, some of the methods that some psychologists use is to do just that, bring up that so that you can face the fear and et cetera, et cetera. Well, they found that that doesn't work very well with PTSD or CPTSD for that matter, complex PTSD. Because when that memory comes back, all the feelings come back too, right?
Yeah.
They found out that sometimes that makes it even worse.
Sometimes, but I mean, there could be instances though that recognizing it allows for the dealing of it to remove the impact of it.
Well, if
Not all the time. I'm not saying PTSD.
no. What I'm saying is that if you feel better after it and it is neutralized, then you've neutralized it. But what they found with the PTSD from Vietnam and the wars, it just didn't work. In fact, I had a friend, he was using chemicals to do that. He is a doctor working with PTSD. He had this idea that if you can put the certain chemical into the brain as they remember this idea, this chemical will neutralize it, etc. Well, he did a video on it. They did a video on it. And the poor guy, he brought the memory up, and then they pushed the medication in, through his carotid artery. And he said Okay, I feel a little bit better now. Now I feel even worse with some more of them. They did it about 8 times, but by the 8th time, he said, I'm better now. I'm cured. You just want to get off that table. You didn't want any more of that chemical going up in there. But they have some idea. Oh, they have, I think it was developed in was it Canada or I think it was Canada or England. They have different methods now, whereas you don't have to actually experience it, but you can see it. For example, let's see, one of the ones that I use. Picture yourself sitting in front of a TV, right? And in that TV, you're going to put that particular problem that you had, that war event or whatever it was. You're going to know it's on that screen, but you don't look at it directly. Dissociate with yourself, and then you watch yourself watching the screen. Right? This is just the crux of it. But you have to do that from a relaxed position. So you imagine yourself sitting, watching yourself, watching the screen.
Mm-hmm.
The screen,
watching the event on the screen.
Watching the event on the screen. But you do it in fast forward. Then you come back and look at it. I think it takes about 10 minutes to eliminate some of the deepest ones without having to re-experience it.
Oh,
so these are some techniques you use.
Yeah.
We have a question from
Lucretia, yes.
Who had a question?
Yes, Lucretia has a question.
Hello.
Hi, Grand Rising. You said something about reactions a couple moments ago, being able to react differently. Can you say a little more about that, please?
Okay, react differently. A little more meat.
Yeah, because I started a conversation about this yesterday, and I think it's interesting to hear that word again today. Because I know from my experience, when I think I'm experiencing something from the past that would hurt, when I think I'm experiencing it now, I overreact to the now situation.
Right. That's because it's happening right when you remember it with all of those emotional components that's attached to it, you're reliving it, doing it right now. Does that sound familiar? When you think of the event, does it make you react physically? I mean, you can actually feel it happening as though it's happening right now.
Yeah, yes. It's like, specifically, like if I'm having a conversation with somebody and it reminds me of a past traumatic conversation, I'll overreact in the present moment.
Right.
And so I'm just wondering if what you're saying will neutralize, I like that word too, those overreactions.
As a matter of fact, the good news is absolutely. Once you neutralize that emotional component, that whatever happened, and it's usually accumulated too, because it's compiled, because the law of attraction says that once like attracts like. So if something happened to you when you were 8 years old or something like that, and the mind has a way of generalizing it, and so anything close to that will remind you of that and will combine with that, and it builds over the years, right? And when you experience it in the now, you're going to feel that, and you're going to overreact, or like you say, overreact, or react when you feel is inappropriate. And that even adds to that whole genre. So that's why I say you have to neutralize the emotional impact, the component. And then your body and your mind will be reprogrammed, and you will react more appropriately. I don't know if you were on here when we were quoting, oh, geez, what is her name? Oprah's friend?
Gail?
No, the one that passed away, her mentor.
Oh, Maya Angelou.
Yeah, Maya Angelou. Yeah, she's the one that I heard it from first. I may forget what you said, I may forget what you did, but I'll never forget how you made me feel.
Mm.
And so that's what we have to change, the feeling.
Yeah.
Because your memories are not going to be accurate anyway. We found that out.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you bring up an old memory, and then restore it back in your subconscious, it's changed. Changed a little bit. And when you bring it up again, it's a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. My son tells this story to the family ever since he was little. And when he got somewhat grown, he's saying yeah, Mom used to make me go to school and walk to school all by myself. And I was only 5 years old. I'm like, what? And then the next time he tells it, he said, yeah, and I was like 4 years old. Well, you ain't even in school yet. And so my sister says, now you were crawling now. You were in your diaper. Your mom told you to won't go to school all by yourself. The story changes every time.
I remember crawling out of that crib and going to school
all by myself. Exactly.
And he believes that because it's a belief there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything that ever happened in your past is not exactly what actually happened.
Yeah.
It's what you remember tainted by your lens.
Yes.
Exactly. And whatever is happening while you're remembering it, that will be incorporated into it when it goes back into the storage place. And when it comes back out, it's changed a little bit more.
James, could you put your information into just your phone number into the chat?
How do you do that?
Oh.
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Now, so James, is it the same thing? Being hypnotized? Is that the same service like what you're talking about, stress?
Well, I have whole depending on what the presenting issue is, I have a whole toolbox full of different things that I specialize with the client, right? That might include have you heard of tapping?
Yeah.
Tapping, hypnotherapy, hypnosis, straight, direct hypnosis. Let me clarify hypnosis for you, though. A lot of people have the idea that when you go into trance, well, you can make them bark like a dog, bark like a chicken, doing all these things, making you look. And that absolutely cannot be done. Not even by the best hypnotist in the world. They have to agree to it. When you see them on TV, they've already been coached, right? The hypnotist will seek out clients with the best imagination and who won't feel, embarrassed by anything, right? That's why a lot of hypnotherapists don't particularly like stage hypnosis. I don't have a problem with it myself, but because it gives that impression to the populace that the people are out. I think I have a little piece in that thing I sent you on that we saw part of in the beginning.
Yeah.
There's another little piece on hypnosis, what it actually is. As a matter of fact, not only are you aware of everything that's happening while in trance, you're super aware, more aware than you would be normally.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
go ahead.
Can we share those links in to the group?
Sure.
So James,
Yeah.
let me tell you why I'm asking this, and you went right to it basically, because in my experience, in my family experience, my uncle would line us up. We'd be in a room and stuff, and he would hypnotize, and I would never go under. And but the ones that would go under, he was also molesting them. And but like my cousin, he would tell her to go to, in her mind, to go to Kansas City, and what's happening, and she would be sitting in the room in the corner telling what was happening in their space, and he would call them, and it was really happening. But he'd ask me one time, how come you won't, because he could tell I wasn't, because I'd be twitching and stuff. And so I said, I don't want nobody to control my mind. And he said, and I said, and I knew what he was, doing and stuff. And so I just said, I don't want nobody to control my mind, nobody. He said, because I don't know what I would do. He said, just what you said, you won't do anything that you don't want to do. And I said, I don't know what I won't want to do.
That is a valid statement. I don't
I'm
know how old you were when you said it, but that was brilliant right there.
Yeah, so that's why, that's my general concern about that, and being able to having to trust that, and I said, well, if I have somebody else in there, if I needed to do that, and I had somebody else, and I said, but they might get hypnotized.
Your imagination was going there, boy. But it was so logical. Well, wait a minute now. If I have somebody else in there, you hypnotize them, saying that they're not. What?
And then we both.
Yeah. Both are under.
But,
and that, along with all the movies, that you watch, and
yeah,
funny that they make them do funny things, but some, terrible things.
Well, you mentioned that when someone is under hypnosis, actually, there is no such thing as being under hypnosis, because no one can control your mind, actually. And if you don't want to be hypnotized, you're not going to be hypnotized. If you don't trust the person, they can do it. They can bring magic spells from Fantasia. They wouldn't be able to hypnotize you, right? Or at least lead you into hypnosis. That's all a hypnotist can do, is to guide you into trance. But you're conscious during the whole process.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between hypnotherapy and stage hypnosis. Because when you are in trance, for example, I think one of the explanations is you're driving down the freeway, right? And you're thinking about something, you miss your exit. Well, you were in trance, actually. Hypnotic trance. Just before you go to sleep, just when you first wake up in the morning, you come up through a hypnotic trance before you become aware. Before you get up into beta, you're in alpha and theta. You know how you feel when just before you fall asleep?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you remember when you actually fell asleep, right? And that's trance right there. And when you're in theta alpha region, your subconscious mind is open and accepting of suggestions that your conscious mind would reject. Like, for example, if you were a beautiful prize winning model or something, and somebody told you when you were 5 years old or something like that you were ugly. Once you get around 8 or so, that's still in your mind. You feel that you're ugly, right? So if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, you're beautiful," subconscious mind, your conscious mind is going to go down to the subconscious mind and say, "Hey, he said I was beautiful." BS. You ain't beautiful. He's lying to you. What does he want? Right? You just go in there because your mindset is that you're ugly. Now, if somebody came and told you that you're ugly, you accept that. We wouldn't feel good about it, but hey. So that's why you have to change the subconscious before you can change anything else in your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the key is to reprogram that powerful thing you all have, and that's your subconscious mind.
And James, do you have workshops or things where, you know, yeah, you have workshops?
Presently, no, but
Mhm.
I'm in the process of putting them together now.
Mm-hmm.
I have clients in California and in Vegas. So every now and then they'll pay for my fare out there, and I'll go out there and do a group or something like that. But I'm putting together now a course I want to put online. It's a full course. And, that way, be in perpetual. What word am I looking for?
Your voice is fading.
Tell me about it.
Hey.
I just woke up. What are you talking about?
And
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, you have a great voice. You have a
Doesn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
performing voice, radio voice, listening. I could listen to you guide me into a meditation and go there. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got a good voice. God blessed you with that one.
Yeah.
That I accept because I remember. Are you familiar with Sharon Oliver?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Once a week, I used to work with her patients. Right, she got them all in there, and I would work with her also.
Mm-hmm.
So often that when we would have regular conversations on another day somewhere else, if I talked too long, she started nodding off. I'm thinking, gee whiz, am I that boring? I mean, this is something about your voice. It just
I mean, make you want to just
yeah. Appreciate it. I accept that as a compliment now. I thought I was boring people to death.
No, no.
Yes, there's a time and a place for everything, right? And every sound and everything.
That is true. That is true.
Smell, every.
But
Yeah.
you know, I do have those meditation tapes that, matter of fact, you have one that I sent you there on that piece that we did before. That's one of the meditations. I
Oh.
know. And they, in fact, they're on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I did send the link to WhatsApp. So if
Okay.
you want to get access to it, you can.
Okay. Except for today, when would be a good time to make an appointment?
Well, today is the only time. I'm kidding.
I know you want to go back to sleep on. I didn't want to
Go back to sleep. I'm not sure if I'm awake yet.
You're doing a good job.
You are.
Is this happening now?
Yeah.
Last night I dreamed I was a butterfly. Or am I a butterfly now dreaming that I'm a human?
Okay. Okay now, Jim.
What are you projecting out there, right?
But you have his Mama Evelyn, you have his number?
I do.
But yeah, I've been referring him to people that people that I know that are, so not to spill, but I mean, I'm still working with Jim even now, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
We're starting on that new journey there, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, you have to follow the instructions as perfectly as you can.
Okay.
The results are definite.
Yeah, that's always the secret to everything. I'm learning the real meaning of a protocol, and that means something. And somebody give you a protocol, you gotta follow it. You can't just write it down like I did before.
And think about it. You go think about it 2 months later, huh?
That's why I have
It's working.
within the program through hypnotherapy, I build that desire to stay on track.
Yes.
So if the more you try to do something, have you noticed less you apt to do it? No, I had that problem for years. When I was working in substance abuse, that's what I would tell my clients. First of all, I would tell them that I know what the traditional treatment is because I had to go through and learn it in order to be able to be a counselor. And one of the things that they say is that they're struggling to stay sober. Tell them, I said, well, now, if you are struggling to stay sober, you're doing something wrong, right? It's supposed to be your way of life. I give them the example of when I was about 18 or 19, had this old car, and I had to take the battery up to the shop, be charged. So I took the battery out, started moving up the street. It was only around the corner. Somehow, that battery seemed to gain weight as I got more.
That heavy, huh?
Yeah, so I'd have to put it down for a minute, and then pick it up. I'm struggling to get that battery up to the shop. That is a struggle. So if I had put it in a wagon, just drug the wagon on up there, it would not have been a problem. So if you're struggling to stay sober, change tactics.
Right.
In fact, I'm going to brag on myself here.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
When I first got into the field of substance abuse, my training was with science of mind and all
Okay.
the mental sciences, right?
Yeah.
So, what point was I going to make right there?
You were talking about struggling
Science
to
of the mind.
Yeah.
Find a better way to do something. You were
Keep
talking
going.
about carrying battery. Yeah.
And then you were talking about substance.
Yeah, we were talking about substance abuse.
And you were talking about trying.
They
And
were struggling to stay sober.
yeah.
And
To find a new tactic.
We trying to help you here, Jim.
yeah, I know. I had a neat little story. I was going to brag on myself.
Oh, well, that's what
we
it is.
go.
Oh, he
That's it.
remembered.
Yeah. When I first got into substance abuse, it was during the height of crack, heroin, etc. Right?
Mm.
And they would track all of the people who came out of the facility for 18 months, in Lansing,
Uh-huh.
to find out what the recidivism rate was.
Okay.
Those that come back, those that leave and come back within the 18 months. And at that time, it was 98%.
Wow.
Of all those who went through treatment, 98% of them were back in not once, but several times, right?
Oh,
now, they gave me autonomy to have my own group, right?
Mm-hmm.
They tracked my people. Guess what the recidivism rate was? I already said I was bragging.
Zero.
Well, 9%.
That's good. You're right. You're right.
And because of some of them, some of them got hit by a car or, I don't know exactly what criteria they used, but they were counting those that came back. Some didn't come back because of car accidents. They were taken off the planet somehow. So it probably was higher than that. That's because my approach was I already knew what they could do. I knew if they did it, it would work. I had no problem with NA and AA and all that, but I wasn't interested in having them join a new society, which would be AA, NA, etc., which is, it serves its purpose.
Right.
But I didn't think that they should be living their lives as a X anything.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would tell them, I would say, well, my criteria here is when you, how did I put it to them? If I can remember. Clean, sober, and serene. Oh, my definition of clean, sober, and serene is you don't use, you don't want to use, and if the dog dies, you're not going to use. You'll find another way of dealing with that, like everybody else on the planet, right?
Right.
I wanted them back into mainstream society. And that's why I think my rate was so low, because that's what I went for.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with the mind itself.
Okay.
Showing them that they actually did have control.
Yes.
That's correct.
Let me ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Yeah, do you accept medical insurance?
Well, through my associate, Dr. Montgomery, we tried to set that up, whereas she could bill anybody anything, right?
Mm.
But it turns out that she could bill for the eval that she would do, but she would have to be in the room to be able to bill for what I do,
Okay.
you know, to sign off on it.
Mm-hmm.
She's just too busy. You know,
Right.
she teaches psychology over at the not integrated, Creative Health Institute. She works with courts and this, that, and the other, immigration and all that. She just doesn't have time. So I had to take that off the table.
Mm.
Have cash paying, how much
Or
is that?
now. Oh, you don't want to know.
Yeah, talk to him.
I know.
Well, look at her smirking right there.
What smirk?
I have the 45-day engagement, limited engagement, I call it. And it's guaranteed positive results. It's 45 days. It involves at least 3 or more face-to-face sessions. They have the private page online, but they have to have a computer or a phone. And what it involves a whole bunch of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, what I like about it is that so far, those who follow the protocol, 100% of them got the results they were looking for.
Okay.
And the question was, how much is that? Ready for it?
Yes, sir.
It's $24.97
Oh,
45 days.
wow.
Oh, is it
That's
$4.97?
yes, ma'am. And I'm also
No, it's not 24. She said
and I'm al-
$24.97, Jim.
No, so you meant
I heard her and I said that's correct and I'm also an elf for Santa Claus on. No, that's 2,400. Yeah.
okay.
And but the good thing is, matter of fact, almost 100% of the clients use PayPal. You know, what they call the pay me later thing. In the program, it has different ways that you can not pay for 6 months or so. I should know exactly what the criteria is.
Oh, you can pay you can pay break it down into payments. Is that what you're saying?
Right. I think they don't start charging you for 6 months, I think, or either give you 6 months to a year to pay it.
That's in PayPal.
Yeah, PayPal. They call it PayPal. There's also 2 other ones that the course that platforms that I use have. They have 3 different ones. You don't need a whole bunch of credit for it, you know.
Jim, you're going in and out again.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to have like excellent credit for these things.
Right. Oh, PayPal credit. Okay.
Yeah, PayPal credit, and there's another two other ones that they use.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I'm building the course now. See, this course is going online, and it's going to be for that same price. And my personal one, because I'll be either here or in California. I haven't decided which yet. But my personal one will be going up to like 3K.
Here.
Mama Evelyn said she wanted to hear.
Here.
You're here.
Yes.
Is it cold in there where you are? Whoa. it's definitely my passion.
Okay, okay.
Yep, I have been breaking. I almost got arrested when I was in substance abuse. You want to hear that story?
Yeah.
I teamed up with another colleague who was working for an organization that would take substance abuse clients and find housing for them, etc. Right?
Okay.
And I was working on the treatment end of it. I had my own group. So we would go into these different shelters and recruit, right?
Okay.
And my capacity was like 15. I wouldn't take any more than 15 because I wanted to make sure that everyone got the full measure.
Right.
And in fact, we would meet like every day except weekends. Well, now, someone called me and said, Jim, they have a warrant out for your arrest. I said, what? He's telling me this on a weekend too, and everything is closed, right?
Right.
Arrest? Well, he was exaggerating, but here's what happened. The city got a grant for like $2 or $3 million to do exactly what we were already doing. They didn't know that we were already doing that. And it didn't cost us a dime. Right? So they bought computers and this, that, and the other, and they were going to go into these shelters and recruit these people into this program. And when they got to the shelters, they said, well, you know, Mr. Loving and Mr. Richardson were already here. And they've all, who's Mr. Loving and who's Mr. Richardson? Right. So they did some investigation. But everything was on the up and up.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing. All we did was what they wanted to do, but with no money. It didn't cost us anything. So we were delivering these things free. You know, we were being paid by our agencies, you know.
Right.
So they were not happy. They were not happy campers. But they had to bite the bullet.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah. But the thing about it was, I was a little upset with them because they weren't being effective. They were taking all that money in, and these people were coming back to the
Yeah.
revolving door. Recidivism, yeah.
Yeah, that rate was quite high. You're right.
Yeah. So I just wore that as a badge of honor, you know. So,
Yeah. Thanks for sharing the story.
yeah.
Well, you know, I do want to say thank you again for showing up.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Yes, thank you. I mean, you shared a great deal. I learned more about you because I didn't know a lot about, even though I've seen you many times over at Razia's house.
Well, you know, I'm usually in a joking mood.
Yeah, right. Right, but it's good to know more about you. So this is great. Any more questions or anything? Or even share what you gained. I mean, was anything positive that you gained from the talk today?
It was all positive. You know, it was definitely helpful. The price is per person, correct?
Well, I do couples or two at a time, or in fact, the groups would be like 5, no more than 6. They can share the cost, you know.
Oh.
Okay. Good.
I still have to meet one-on-one with each one of them also.
Okay.
So I didn't want to make it so that, you know, the power was lessened because of have so many miles on my car because I go to them. I don't bring them to a location.
Okay.
So some matter of fact, the last group I had, they met at this one person's house in Southfield. That was pretty convenient because I wasn't that far from there.
Okay.
Drive right over there and do the face-to-face stuff and then take them individually. Then through the week, I would go to each one of their houses.
Okay.
Kept me busy. Kept me busy.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming. It's been very informative and
Very informative.
fun. And we do like to, this is female energy, and we always look forward to what we call eye candy, Mr. James. So you have not fulfilled on the eye candy. We young man, come on, and
Well, invite me back, and my camera will be up and running.
Wait a minute.
we will
Wait a
do
minute.
that.
Wait a
We will
minute.
definitely do that.
Invite him later. Invite him later in the day so we can make sure he's awake.
Your voice was splendid though. We enjoyed that.
Yes. Yeah. and then he had the nerve to talk about Jacqueline and how she was making a face and stuff. I said, oh, see, he got jokes. He can see us and see all the stuff, but we can't, we can't.
So it might have been by design, you think? No.
But it is what it is, right? And we've enjoyed you, and thank you for sharing so much and answering,
yes,
questions.
But just know, I was listening to you guys are fans of Abraham Hicks.
Yes.
You're probably fans of several other of her contemporaries also.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Michael Beckwith, are you familiar with Michael?
Yes.
Well, I'm about to put Michael Beckwith on right now.
Yes, his song. Yes, I've been playing it.
Oh, he's the one that corrected my paper when I became a what do you call them now? A clinician, more or less.
Okay.
Science of mind.
Okay.
He hired me in to be the night man on the phone, the telephone, the helpline, prayer line for United Church of Religious Science of Mind. Yeah, I was the night man there. We couldn't give our names out or anything like that. But when I came back to Detroit, guess who found out who I was? Alita.
Oh.
Guess who it was, Alita?
Jesus.
Oh, she's still there?
Yeah, she may be doing something.
Yeah.
Trying to find the thing, like before. Yeah.
Well, it was Shahira.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been on the show as well.
Yeah, that's my girl there.
Actually, on Fridays, I'm sure Danny, what's her last name?
Stillwell.
Danny Stillwell.
Do I know him?
Do you know?
You're asking me that? Or?
No, I was just sharing that Danny Stillwell, who is at Shahira's church, Reverend Shahira's church. She's on the Friday show with me on Purpose and Passion. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotta check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what time does it come on again?
8 o'clock.
8 to
10. Jacqueline's she's laughing.
I didn't even know they still made 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, you know.
Thought the sun rose at noon.
Well, thank you, thank you. So, you know, join in. I want us to hear One Day in Paradise. I mean, One Day in Heaven. And I want us to, if you don't mind, is that okay? I'm just taking over. Deetra, is that okay?
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you, Queen.
Uh-huh. So I want you, you know, I don't know who has not heard it, but listen to it. But then play it on your own and listen to the words that he says. It's one day in heaven. And just it's so beautiful. And at another time, we're gonna break those words down and really get what he's saying. It's, you know, it's cool, music is wonderful, but the words are powerful. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now
Are
stop.
you gonna
pause the recording?
Yeah, I am. Mm-hmm.